I'm Adam.
No, I'm Adam.
Not Adam. Roger.
And we're here with Craft Beer and Brewing's Tip of the Week.
Let's get into mashing for lower ABV stouts. We target a higher mash, so we usually go around 156 degrees or higher. That's really gonna try and trigger the higher dextrin, the longer chain sugars in the mashing process. It's something, bodybuilding is so important in these smaller stouts that they're not thin. So in conjunction to adding adjuncts such as flaked barley or flaked oat, mashing high is really gonna help you kind of lock in those unfermentables that you want for that style of beer to kind of keep the body up and make sure that it doesn't have that watery disposition at the end of the day.
And something to note is, we'll get into it in a bit, but as compared to our, huge mash bills for our larger stouts, where we want those to be very fermentable, and you'll still have enough residual dextrins and things to really have a great, mouthfeel and body in those beers. For the lower ABV stouts, or even your medium kind of range stouts, that's not necessarily the case. So you need to counteract, or plan for rather, your mashing to give you those body compounds. We like to be in the mid 150s, and we find that gives you a good balance of, call them body positive compounds and fermentability, because at the same time you don't want a 5% beer that is 7, 8, 9 Plato necessarily, because then it'll throw the whole balance of everything out of whack, and you'll be drinking, it'll be like a lighter ABV sweet drink or something, something.
Is the mid 150s, or if you go up to like one closer to 160 or closer to 140 also, that's gonna change your fermentability. So if you pick a English yeast or a American yeast, be sure that you read the percentage of fermentability. So the higher that mash temperature you go, you're gonna do the lower range of the attenuation for that certain yeast strain. So just as recipe, we keep that in mind, and as you're designing your stout recipes, keep that in mind too. So that's one way to kind of, another lever that we use to kind of dial in recipe design for stouts.
I'd like to mention on the hot side of things. So after we mash, we start running off the beer, and the way our brew house works, we're able to get really intense boils, and maybe that's something that people don't realize. You can boil at higher or lower temperatures. We like to really push the limits of our boil kettle and run it maybe higher than we would for some of our IPAs. And then you're going to start developing other flavor compounds that really contribute to the perception of having a fuller body, or just a more rich beer at a lower ABV. And you get these Maillard reactions in the kettle. And the harder you boil your wort you're collecting, the more those reactions will occur, and the effect of that will be greater. To learn more about brewing great stouts, click the link below.